smoking, and there was nobody in the room. And there's a window that's right by my bed. I looked out the window to see if there was anybody outside, and there was nobody outside smoking a cigarette. I looked around, didn't see anything, and I remember getting under the covers, and the smell went away. Very next night, it was like 3 o'clock in the morning or something. Cigarette smoke again. It was really strange. There was a change in the atmosphere in that it was electrified. It was something different about it. There was only my breathing, and there was only the sounds in the room, especially the clock. The clock was really loud, even though it was all the way across the room, up on the wall. It was something that was really scary. And I don't know why, but I was drawn to the closet, and when I looked over there, and I don't know why, but I was drawn to the closet, and when I looked over there, in the closet were a pair of military boots. I was freaking out. I went to get my mom. She came upstairs. And there was nothing in the closet. She looked around for me to make sure there was nobody there. Went to the window. Didn't see anything, didn't smell anything. And so she tucked me in, gave me a kiss, and then went back downstairs. Last night this happened was the most intense. I was really afraid. I was really, really afraid. Wondering, is this going to happen again? It was almost as though I knew it was going to happen. I was awake, waiting, and it's that waiting. The heaviness in the air was really prominent. The smoke came again. It was like everything just was amped up, just cranked up. The room itself was so loud. All of a sudden, everything seemed bright. Everything had this sort of silvery blue, and even that looked like it was really turned up. This chill went all the way up, right from my legs all the way up to my head, to the back of my neck. I could feel the chills of fear, to the point where I wanted to yell for my mom, and I couldn't. I just couldn't. I looked over towards the closet. There there standing in the closet, looking at me, was a young man in a World War II military uniform, and he was smoking a cigarette. His hair was combed, perfectly parted. His boots were the boots that I had saw the night before. And he smiled. It was almost like I was looking at him and he was looking at me. It was familiar. I wasn't afraid. I got out of the bed. And as soon as I walked over to this closet, this soldier was gone. There was something peaceful. There wasn't something scary. I'll never forget that feeling. I'll never forget that feeling. There was almost like a spiritual connection because there had to be something that offset the fact that there was a ghost standing in front of me in my bedroom. I always wondered about this experience, and I always wondered who that person was, why they came that night. I talked to a psychic. I mentioned to her about how I was not afraid of this apparition. She immediately had said to me, she past life. We have, through tragedy, through trauma, in death, that we have things that are just unresolved. They don't get resolved. But they can translate into another life. When I was there playing war, I was in the thick of that battle as a young man. The psychic said, it was a young man. He went to war and didn't come back. It was a past life of mine. And I was looking at myself, standing there with this uniform on. She said, I think that what that apparition was telling you as a young child was that the war was over. Me saying to me that, the war's over. And it's interesting because I don't like to fight. And after that, I, honest to God, don't even remember playing war that much anymore.
Surprise someone you love. Download the TouchNote app now or visit touchnote.com. He-Man and Skeletor saved at Money Supermarket, and now they feel epic. He-Man and Skeletor, you're so Money Supermarket.
7 bands, 7 burgers. Touring now, the Nashville Hop. That's how it's done, and it's finger-licking good. For those who follow the sun, yes. For those who like to get lost in the city, yes. For those who love to stay up all night, yes. Whatever you're looking for, use lastminute.com. Decide where and when, and choose your city break from hundreds of offers. With our price match guarantee, you know you'll get a great deal. Book now on lastminute.com. Secure your booking today with a deposit at All Protected.
At Vision Express, you can get 2 pairs of designer glasses for just £129. Vision Express. Vision taken seriously.
Do you promise to love, honor, and obey till death do you part?
No one makes a person have an affair.
He had a gun, which he kept on the kitchen table just about all the time.
It started out as just a verbal argument, then it got more physical.
Powerful stories of how the nightmare of divorce can turn to murder.
I said, son, you have made the biggest mistake you've ever made in your life.
The channel premiere of Fatal Vows, Thursdays at 8 on True TV. Criminals come in many different forms. From pure evil
Do we have a serial killer?
to others.
Some people act crazy.
Committing murders and domestic violence to grand theft auto. We protect and serve to ensure crime doesn't pay.
You will be prosecuted.
Fatal Attraction,
It was a total mystery.
Policewomen of
I
Dallas,
want to put this guy in jail.
and Bait Car.
Get on the license. What do you do with that car? Don't touch what down below.
Making your afternoons killer. Weekdays from 12 on True TV.
Now on True TV, cunning and courageous cops patrol one of the most dangerous streets in Policewomen of Dallas.
This episode on Policewomen of Dallas.
Get out of my car. Put your hands on the hood.
It's a full moon out today, but people just acting crazy. You should not be driving this car.
He got into my mom's face.
We will not stop looking for this girl, but there's no trail.
Are you drunk?
The crap that you do to these young girls is ridiculous.
You have to pay the consequences for your actions.
You can think about it in jail. Get your adrenaline going, heart going. Once you get that first adrenaline rush, then it kind of helps you get the blood pumping, and then you can start your shift. I like those calls. You got to get out there and answer some good calls. Get out of the street. Seriously? There's this kid walking right in the middle of the street. Why is he walking in the middle of the street, especially after seeing me? That's obviously totally disrespectful. There was a sidewalk off to the side, so there was no reason for him to be in the street. Get out of the street, dude. Come here. Put your hands right here. You just gonna walk in the middle of the street? Yes or no?
I don't know.
Did you see me coming up on you behind you when you were in the middle of the street?
1 minute street. All right.
That's how you walk?
It's small for you.
It's too small for you? You think this is a joke? You know you can get a ticket for that? I didn't write him a citation for pedestrian in the roadway. Be gone. Just gave him a pretty good warning. There was no reason for him to be in the street. I let him go, and after I'm wrapping it up, get back into my car, I'm looking at the call sheet, and all of a sudden, what are you doing? Get out of my car. Get out of my car. This guy sits right next to me in my squad car, completely uninvited, out of nowhere. Didn't know where he came from. I'm really in shock. Put your hands on the hood. What do you want?
Nothing.
Nothing? Then why are you getting in my car?
Nothing.
This has never, ever happened since I've been on patrol. This guy could have a weapon in his hand. I mean, any cop would tell you it's a total safety issue, and it pissed me off. Put your hands on the hood. What do you have in your pocket?
Nothing.
What are you doing here? What do you want?
Nothing.
So why didn't you get in my car?
Nothing.
Nothing? Stay right there.
Okay.
He's reeking of alcohol, and he's really lost, and he just has no clue as to what's going on. And I'm going to the computer, I run his name, and a warrant pops up. Put your hands behind your back. Were you trying to turn yourself in because you know that you have a warrant out for your arrest for probation violation?
No, I was not aware.
So you weren't trying to turn yourself in, you were just walking in my space.
I was not trying to walk into your space.
Did I invite you into my car?
No, ma'am.
Why would you ever do that?
I would.
But you did.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Come on. He had no clue why he came and sat down next to me. And so I'm thinking at this point, wow, it doesn't get any easier than that. You just came into my squad car and lo and behold, you have a warrant out. You've been drinking today?
Yes, ma'am.
What else do you want?
Weed.
Just weed?
Yes, ma'am.
And you were just going to come sit in my car?
No, ma'am, I didn't see your car.
And now you didn't sit in my car? Do you not remember sitting right here in my car?
I didn't sit right there.
You did sit right there. Where else are you going to sit?
Huh?
Oh, wow. Okay, never mind, dude. I'm realizing that this guy is, like, completely spacey. And he was just flying high as a kite. I think that he was doing a lot more than marijuana for sure. Yeah, how did we even get here? That's what I want to know.
Right.
Yeah, how do you think we got here?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Let's back up and see what
Yeah, let's back up then. Let's do that.
I mean, I was just walking up the street. Right there. Like you just said.
Yeah, you're walking up the street and now you're in handcuffs.
Exactly.
That's weird.
Exactly.
Apparently you don't remember what happened.
Apparently, I don't remember what happened.
It's really shocking to me that, you know, this just happened a couple of minutes ago and you don't remember. Drugs just really screw up your brain. Just walk this way. I always have to be on my toes and alert. When I'm out here cruising the streets and dealing with people, I just never know how quickly things can change. I mean, usually people are trying to avoid us cops at all costs and walking on the other side of the street when they see us, but he just walked right into my car and just made himself comfortable. I mean, I don't know if he wanted to be my partner for the night or what. Riding around the neighborhood, checking out the hot spots.
310, I'll head that way. A robbery call comes out involving a white expedition with 4 black males inside. They pulled up on the complainant and took her vehicle. As I'm driving down the street, I'm getting flagged down by this guy in a white Yukon. Suspects wouldn't be flagging me down, would they?
About 3 days ago, my best friend, he called his mom's car stolen because he went inside his work job. He had a friend girl with him, and she jumped in the car and drove off. So just now, we were riding through the South Dallas, and we trailed him all the way up here. And the only way we can get the car back is when they stopped back here at this railroad track. That's why I came back to the same area where it don't seem like the peers that we done robbed them for their car, or hijacked them for their car. All we did was we got out behind them and told them to get out the car. So 2 girls got out the car, and then we drove the car back to the friend's house.
I'm trying to figure all this out. Okay, wait a minute. Your homeboy got his car stolen a couple of days ago. And you saw the stolen car, and you just tell these females to get out, and you drive the car away. I'm really hoping this is the right car he took from these girls. Okay, well, they saying she in the inside, so let me go in here. Let me try to piece all this together.
Train tractor came down, and then a white truck that looked a lot like that pulled up behind us, and they pulled out guns, and they told us to get out and take the car.
Whose car is it?
That's my car. It was not mine. My grandma
she's crying and going on. So I'm like, oh, Lord, did this guy take the wrong car? I get some information on this car to see if it was actually reported stolen.
Well, it is a report on this same license plate. What I need to do is just drive over there and see if he took the right car.
So I'm going to go over here and check this other location just to see if it's the same car that was actually reported stolen. That's the right license plate number. Okay, this is the right vehicle. Now I got to go back to this location to see why this female is lying and actually what's going on. Okay, now who gave you this car? The guy. Okay, but you're driving a stolen car, ma'am. That car is stolen. That's not your car. It's not your godmother's car. The car was stolen. But that's why you don't drive people's cars that you don't know. I don't even know why people cry when I'm dealing with them because that does not affect me. She was making ugly faces and noises, but she wasn't actually crying. I didn't see not one tear. You might be going to jail tonight for driving a stolen car. Do you understand that? You don't just accept keys from somebody. If that ain't your car and you know it's not theirs, then you don't do that.